Wonderful. Hello and welcome everyone to this week's live. I'm Samriddhi, your Cosmic Soul Whisperer. Hi, Matthew. And every week we come together to look at what themes are coming up for each week and how you can use these energies. And we can all use these energies to build a collective, conscious, aligned week. I'm sorry, my table is a little bit messy today. um, and we are looking at different themes every week, and through the different weeks we start to notice certain trends. So we may go into the galactic akash, cosmic akash, earth akash, wherever we need to go to bring in that information. So how we do this is I start off with a little bit of carry forward energy from last week. Then we talk about the themes of sessions that I've been seeing, and if there's any sign for the overlapping themes in the collective that are coming through. And I also talk about any personal experiences. That today I want to share a dream that I had. And then after that, we get into tuning into the collective energy. And as we tune into the collective energy, I see a vision. We bring through that Akashic vision. And then from there, bring in light language activations. And throughout the journey, you can always share what you're going through in the live journey, as well as afterwards and on this YouTube video in your comments. And it would be an honor to witness and share this journey with you, as I always do. I love that we get to do this every week, and we have started to see trends, patterns, and start to step into a new level of mastery of our own soul journey every single week. So, very, very warm welcome once again. And I'll start off with the carry forward energy from last week. Now, last week we were talking about how can you release old versions of you and jump into new timelines. We also had some beautiful messages coming through, and we had our guide as Krishna, Ascended Master Krishna, who had come through to assist us with jumping those timelines. Now, there was a lot of that energy in my field. Lots of things that I was thinking about. I wonder what happened to that thing in my life. I wonder what happened to this person. I wonder what happened to that timeline. All of those things started to interweave within each other, and I started to notice that it's all happening now already. So many things have felt like they expedited 100x, and the last 1 week I almost felt like a year. There's been a lot that has shifted and changed in this period of time. So, in my personal life, there's been a lot that has gone on. To share with you, a very beloved family member is not feeling too well, and I might have to quickly rush. So, I already got my visa now, so I'm going to fly out maybe sometime this week, earliest possible, today, tomorrow, day after, whenever I get the tickets. And I'm not very sure when I'll return, but I will continue to do my lives and all of this from wherever I am. And I think you'll get to know through my stories and sharings anyway. So there is that energy of something that was completely out of the plan has suddenly come into motion, and that is allowing me to really pivot and change things and prioritize and only keep the highest priority things. That has been a carry forward energy in my personal life. In the lives of others that I have been able to observe, I've been able to witness through my sessions and through all these other interactions, especially during my sessions, I've seen some of the layers that have overlapped are exhausted spiritual practitioners or exhausted intuitive beings doing their work in their different realms, and they want to do so much more, but they need that essential level of grounding to assist them to be able to achieve that from their physical body. Sometimes it's a challenge of the physical body itself, at other times it's really the groundedness and the energy of allowing some part of the magic to unfold and not trying to do all things so that there is no scope for anything to escape or anything else to happen. So there was that energy of devotion or devotional practices. I won't call them devotional, I'll call them routine spiritual practices being used as a way of subtly controlling spiritual outcomes. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, Sometimes we pray in a very specific way because we want to totally control that aspect of our life, and we want only things in that way and no other way. Prayers become very specific, having many clear caveats. Um, the way we do our spiritual practice, whether it is a fire ceremony, whether it's meditation, whether it's chanting, whether it's journaling, it happens obsessively in that one particular area where you're like, I need this, I need this, I need this. So there was that kind of an energy that was coming up in the collective field through the different sessions, not particularly for any individual, but that was kind of like an overlapping theme in all these interactions that I had, including for myself. Even I was kind of obsessively asking for very clear outcomes rather than just saying, hey, this is my wish, and then now I leave it to you. So there was really that energy. Welcome everyone who's joining you. Hi, Ellie. So that was an overall theme. So I want to just pause here and check, how has this been sitting with you? Have you experienced that you want to be so specific about your goal recently that it's very wordy, it's very long drawn, and it's almost like praying is a form of trying to control that particular outcome. If you have felt that, you're not alone. This has probably been something in the collective. And there is the energy of Adhik Mas, this extra month that we were talking about last week, has that energy of real intensified, laser sharp spiritual practices. And if we don't ground it also with all our other considerations, it can really look like very clear, focused, and sometimes not keeping the scope for any other wishes to come true kind of implementation. My dad has joined live today. Hi, Daddy. All right. So let's go from here into a dream that I had last night. So last night, I had this really intriguing dream. Actually, it was not last night, it was the night before last. So this dream was, I woke up and I had my family around, but nobody particularly looked like family, but still in the dream, I was to perceive them like family. And I started interacting with everybody. And as I was interacting with everybody, in the beginning of the dream, there were a few minor disagreements. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to place my point of view because those are the things that we all cared about. So it wasn't like somebody can completely let go for another one to, continue what they wish to do. It had to be a good balance. So there was that energy around negotiating what you want, not giving up on what you want. But to do that with people you love, there is definitely a challenge that you put it forth in a gentle and kind way, but also to balance your considerations, because sometimes there's a balance of power in family situations, right? If everyone is liking one person, then everyone goes towards that person, and whatever you're saying may not be that received. So there was that kind of an energy. And then suddenly there came a phase where I phased out. So now I was in a phase where I could still see myself, but others could not see me or hear me. And I'm trying to explain things to them. I can see them, but they are not in the same run to see me. It was not necessarily my physical family, but it was interestingly a metaphor. So I tuned in and I asked, is this the Akashic message for the week? And they said, absolutely. So you may experience, there are people in your life that may experience you, that may see you and witness you from the realm where they are, not from the awareness that you have. And it could be possible that you may be at a more refined or a subtle level of awareness of that situation. And we all, we are all in waves. Sometimes we are less aware, sometimes we are more aware. So it doesn't perpetuate that, everyone who's tuning into this message are always more highly aware people, but it is most likely because you wouldn't be attracted to Akashic work, spiritual wisdom and sharing if you were not one of those beings that would do their inner work. So the people who are doing their inner work may find that they are noticing subtleties, they're noticing the waves in things, while people around them may not be able to see them, understand them at this time. Now, there is definitely an energy that is coming to assist us today to balance all of that. So, if you feel a little bit lost around certain conversations, especially, or any conflicting or negotiation kind of situations where the outcome is not final just yet, then this is an invitation. This week is an invitation to look at those areas of your life more. Sometimes, when we shout and our voice can't be heard, there may be different options. Sometimes it is to get louder, sometimes it is to go silent for a while, and sometimes it is to whisper. So, which of these options is the option that you will apply to your situation? In a situation where you feel somebody is not seeing you, hearing you, or being able to understand your point of view, will you choose the option to speak louder than you were speaking, pause, or speak softly but even more subtly? So that's kind of the energy, and that's the invitation of discernment in this. And mostly there is an invitation to go softer or to pause. Those situations will allow you and buy you more time and more perspective, more discernment in your situations. So there was that energy that was coming in from the dream. Please let me know in comments in your chat if this has some resonated in some way with your own life, where you may have thought you're trying to communicate, you're trying to speak something, but people are not able to hear you. So if you are, then please know that you're not alone and that the situation is temporary. You've got the skills, and your guidance system, even if you don't have the skills at the moment, your guidance system, your Akashic guides, your soul guides, your ancestors, whoever you tune into, your higher selves, they have the guidance and resources to assist you at this time. So please know that you're not alone. We as a collective are not alone. And so therefore there's this healing energy that is coming for us in this week. Now, there was another aspect that came, which was again related to the energy of conflict or the energy of resolution of conflicts, and that is the perception of respect. Now, many times we may be very, very self respecting people, which is very important. It should be all the time, and not just many times. I highly recommend. So, wherever you go and you found that, yes, this is a more self respecting way of doing things, and you're guided by that, there is an acknowledgement for that. There is an invitation to continue to do that, because sometimes the price we pay for an alternate route is. Is convenient on some levels, but it is not convenient for the aspect of your self-respect. So that's why there is an invitation to really focus on, things that honor you and allow those things to honor you. So if there is something, there's a question around self-respect in situations, allow yourself to always choose honoring yourself. Now, there is also another part which is also true to this, because each time a message comes in, the opposite of that is also true, because it's bringing the shadow aspect or the light aspect, however we want to learn it. And the aspect of it can be sometimes we may be very self respecting ourselves, but is it possible that we may not be seeing how others need to honor, how we may need to honor others in those situations according to their way as well? So certain energies may come in, and you may feel like this is a very self-honoring way for me, and I'm going ahead with that. And there's always that you cannot go wrong with that. And it can be even more balanced if you find what is the way where the other person is also feeling honored, and that from their own perspective, their own point of view of how they want to be honored, they are being honored. Now, I know that life is complex, and that's the beauty of it. And sometimes we can't find the middle ground. So this is a week to get aware of those situations. I see a lot of conversations happening this week, and I also see a lot of silences and pauses this week. A lot of energy being pulled back this week, so that you can you regroup and reassign where you want to align your energy and how you want to honor yourself and others. So there may be some very unconscious or easily ignorable things that may be happening. It may be small for us, but there may be an invitation for a larger sensitivity to others and how we can honor them. So that was a very it was quite an intriguing message when I got that, and I was like, okay, how do I communicate that? Because I am very sure that all the people who are tuning into this message and all the people that I get to work with are always they've got a very rich empathic aspect. So you all have this empathic aspect. You're kind people. You're probably more compassionate towards others than yourself. And that's actually the reason why this message has come in, because all your life you have learned how to honor others, and this time you have kind of come around and said, no, no, I need to honor myself. And as you're honoring yourself, you're also now finding the balance. So again, the pendulum is coming up. The wonderful pendulum has come up. So one side of the pendulum is honoring others and being compassionate towards others, but forgetting ourselves. The other side is being compassionate towards ourselves, but also not being able to find out how it can balance with others, and then going right in the middle. So this is a week of that, going right in the middle, that path. And this is where the monthly theme continues of being on the balanced path, the middle path, the Buddha's path, that came in our monthly meditation. So there's really that overlapping energy, that continuing energy this week. Now, when I tuned into the messages and the energies for the upcoming week, um, I wrote something, but my handwriting was so bad that I can't read it. So please give me a moment. I'm reading Devotion to Path. And yes, the other thing is do the right thing. Do the thing that is right by your principles. Now, if any of you are Trekkies out there, and you've watched either Star Trek Voyager, or you've watched Star Trek, not Strange New Worlds, I mean, even that, but particularly if you've watched The Next Generation, you may notice Captain Picard and Captain Janeway. They model that part very well. Do the right thing, even if it is inconvenient, even if it's the hard thing to do. Do the right thing. Do the thing that is honorable. Do the thing that is just and high in integrity. So that is what is being called upon this week. And sometimes that may bring us to decisions that are a bit hard to make. And sometimes that may bring us to situations where we want to adapt and expand even more, on one side or the other side of the pendulum. So this is an invitation for that balance. Now, let's quickly tune into the collective Akashic messages of the week. Welcome to everyone who's been joining these lives. And I'm now going to, I've asked permission from the collective, and I'm now just tuning in to see what vision they share with us in the Akashic field. I'll share the vision, no pressure to understand the whole vision right now, but there are symbols and metaphors that we'll break down a little bit and we'll interpret a little bit. And healing energy may come through with language activation and channeling at the end of this, which will support you through the journey of this week, so that you can navigate through all those terrains that are coming up in this week. So as I've been talking about terrains, I was seeing, I was speaking, and that's why I was actually seeing a rough terrain. It's kind of it's a cobbled street, but it's the cobbles have even worn out. So this is a very rough terrain to walk through, and I'm seeing it's something like 18th century, 17 17 or something, that kind of a period of time. And this is somewhere, this kind of a metaphor is somewhere European. And I'm seeing this cobbled street, and it's not in good repair. It's really rough, and horse carriages are taking people, and people are traveling on them. Now, as this scene is occurring, it's a nice sunny day just on this one particular circle of people. And if you go far ahead, hi Ria, if you go far ahead, there's storm and choppy weather. Um, there's ocean on the other side. There's choppy waters there, and there's a stormy weather. But still, just this part in the present is beautiful and sunny. Although there are some parts that are rough. Hi Tejas. Although there are some parts that are rough, it's still continuing to the cart is still continuing to move forward. I see that there is a fear for the person driving the cart, because there is this fear that, oh, I'm going to leave this sunny patch and now I'm entering the cloudy and stormy patch. But the interesting part is, as long as the person is focused on the present moment, the sun continues to walk with them. Like, when you're on stage and there's a spotlight and that can follow the main actor, and wherever they're walking, whatever they're doing, the lead actor is still able to receive that. The same way, this sunny patch is continuing to walk with this protagonist, which is you, or all of us in the collective, as you're walking through this rough terrain. In a way, it's also kind of enjoyable to walk on this terrain, because there's a kind of rhythm to the ups and downs now. All the rough things have gone, and now it's starting to become a rhythm. So after, at the end of every stone, there's this gap, and that's where it goes down. Then it goes up, and it goes down. So there's a kind of a rhythm in the chaos, and yet there's sunny side that's facing you as you're walking, as long as you remain present. And what I'm seeing in this vision is, as soon as the person looks ahead and looks at the storm and starts to worry, the storm is manifested in their field as well. So again, the focus of really going back to the present and really focusing on how that's going is allowing this to happen. I feel I'm seeing a lot of Arcturian star energy. So all our Arcturian big brothers and big sisters are around us over the week. And I also feel a very strong Syrian energy this week. So you may be wondering, and you may be contemplating very deeply around your purpose in life. You may be contemplating, not contemplating. That is an interesting word. Anyway, so hello everyone who's joined, and hi Sukhjeet. So as you're contemplating, there may be some balance needed in that too, because you only know what you're being shown through the headlight of your car, just a little bit ahead, or as you're in this cart, you're only shown what is happening in the present. You're not being shown what is happening in the future. You're seeing what's happening around you, but you can't yet see the future. This week has an energy like that. This is allowing that presence to come in. It's allowing for alignment to come in, grounding to come in, as you then will get ready to start seeing what's happening in your future. So this is that energy. And there are lots of healing messages coming through from the Syrian star family and the Arcturian star family. And I'm also seeing a lot of Beta Centaurians stepping in. They're quite an interesting people. And hi, Julie. They come in with a lot of clarity around integrity, their rights, creating societies that are integral. So they have very good understanding of justice, law and order. That's also been another theme over the last couple of weeks. So Beta Centaurians are stepping in as well. So I'm just bringing in these messages, and then as I'm bringing through these messages with light language activation, if you can, wherever you're tuning this from, if you can close your eyes for a bit to just receive, that would be awesome. But if you're not in that position, that's also okay. Just allow it to come through you, or just listen to it passively, and you can go back to the recording, to the YouTube video later. So, for those of you who find language activations new, this is the language of vibrations. This is the language of energy, and it's something that speaks with our vibrational field and allows for integration, downloads, uploads, and balancing. And as that happens, it allows us to also jump timelines, clear our Akashic records, and update our Akashic records, and update our energy field. And they want to say, make our energy feel shiny and beautiful. So they're bringing in a lot of luminous language at the moment. So just allow yourself to receive. Anasala shunuko, the Syrians are stepping in. Yana sulahina sarutu kunoshi urula nasuruku tarasukula anasurukuna sanakula taka. This is the serious laughter. This is the laughter between seriousness, and the seriousness between laughter. Nasala nashuku, not too serious. Yala nashuku sanashu itaranasa asalaha. Yana saranasa. I know this is an old joke, but they say people from Sirius can be very serious sometimes. So I have a lot of Syrian energy with my work. So, I mean, I have a lot of star activations, like a lot of memories from being in different star systems. And when I'm more aligned with Sirius, which is this period of time in my life, I can be a little bit too serious. And that's also not my usual nature. My usual nature is to be a fun person for myself and for people around me. So there's that message coming for me and for all of us. If you have noticed yourself being a little bit too serious in your life, just focusing on your mission and focusing on the goals and achievement of those goals, all the things you want to do, and you've been doing them well, but there's seriousness. This is the time where your Syrian star family is asking you to lighten up a little bit. Yana sulushi anatuku shana sa ashana salana shu uno kurasa. And the best part about laughter is that you can't laugh if you're not in the present. You can try and do it, but it's really hard. Yes, you can think about an old joke, but you're laughing. But when you laugh, you're already in the present. Yana sulu shana saratu kunushurana. And therefore, it's also the best way to ground yourself. Yana sulu na shakuna sarakashu itana. For grounding is not just connecting with this space and grounding yourself to the planet, but it is also connecting yourself to this timeline. So it is a connection of your grounding is connection to your space and time, and that grounding happens through laughter. Yanasulu shi anasuru niatakula nashu inasara shuua yahara salana shui takana shu inaranu kula nashu. There's also some energy around going for massages for and relaxing a little bit and finding an activity that relaxes you. So if anything like that is coming up, hello and welcome. So if any activity is bringing up that relaxation within you, but also gives you a bit of laughter, like I can't go for foot massages or haircuts because I am very ticklish. So actually, it could be a good activity for me. You can see my has turned out to be so long now, but I don't go because I feel too ticklish, and when they cut my hair, I'm like dancing everywhere. So it could be like they're showing me that as one of the examples. So doing something that's going to take care of you and bring in some laughter to you as well. So now, as the Syrian family has brought these codes, "Ialana shui rokuna tarana shu usuruno shu lunu suruku," this week may feel a bit slow spiritually. What do they mean by that? And I just wrote a blog about it. I'm going to share it in some time. I'll put it on my story, and I'll leave the link on my YouTube link. So this really means that sometimes when we are grounding after an intense spiritual practice, it may feel like you're not feeling very spiritual. There's no spiritual euphoria, and there is also no emotional crash after that. There's no extreme energy, and that's why you feel, am I still going through a good spiritual experience? Have I fallen off my path? These kind of questions may come, and especially if you're a star seed. So there is an invitation there that actually grounding looks like that. Grounding season between spiritual expansions looks like that. And if you are in that grounding season, there is an invitation to allow that. Yes, for a few days, you may not see everything in complete, vivid vision, or you may not hear your guides as clearly as you do with every single thing, with the music, with the sound. You still hear the message, but you won't hear the frills with it. Or however you perceive and bring through information for yourself, it may look a little bit different, but it is stepping into more grounding if you allow it. So that is the invitation for this week. And now the Syrians step back and they say, all right, we are letting the others take over. And and I see Arcturians have stepped in. Arcturians are here and they've brought in a lot of silence today. They're here with the energy of silence and the profoundness of silence. Yanasurushi tukurun, the salashinuku saasara. And a lot of people find that Arcturians are, also serious, but I find them extremely funny. They have a very intelligent and wise sense of humor, and their sense of humor uh, doesn't doesn't play on contrast, because contrasting sense of humor may be things that are okay. This is unexpected, that's why this is funny. But that unexpected may imply that somebody didn't do their job or something is bad. they don't follow that rule in their humor, which we have in many parts of our humor on our planet, especially if you look at stand-up comics and things like that. But their humor is related to um, grounded questions, like, you've had a spiritual activation and now you're feeling this because actually you're not grounded. So their jokes really come from that point of view, and that's why it feels very different. It feels relatable, but it also acknowledges and honors that your spiritual processes, and it acknowledges that part of you. So it's very different kind of a sense of humor, and they're bringing in that through their silence. Yana surushi lana tukuna shu usurushi anasula nashuru sulunu shukunu surukuna sha. There is a lot of focus on one energy center, which is a smaller energy center in our body, the base of our feet, the soles of your feet. They kind of always show me these like big eyes, like the third eye is shown like this for Shiva, right? Just like that. It's kind of an eye at the sole, on the soles of your feet. I see something similar with the hands, but I see more them like star more. I see them more like stars, and you can see them however you want to see them. There's no right or wrong here. Now they're showing me that these star portals at the base of your feet, your soles, they're going through a recalibration if you allow it. So if you want, you can tune in and you can ask your Arcturian guides or your soul guides, whoever and however you see them, to come in and participate with you to help you anchor your souls to the ground. It's interesting how the soles of our feet they also sound the same as the soul, because that's where the soul connects with the collective of the earth, and the earth soul enters us and enters your star seed body, and your star energy grounds the earth. So that's where the soul activates here in this realm. That's why it's a very profound energy center. Sometimes if your soul energy is blocked, that chakra is blocked, you may feel, and this is something that star seeds feel quite often, and many of you who are tuning into this message, and many of you in the collective at the moment may be feeling, oh, I this is getting a bit too messy, and I don't want to be here. I never signed up for all this. Yes, I came here for the adventure, but where's my fun, where's my adventure, where's my spiritual activations and lessons? Why do I have to go through these experiences? There's a disheartening experience, or there's an apathy within this experience. So this energy allows for you to connect with the healing energy of being in the 3D realm, because we on earth see it hierarchically, that okay, we are in the third, fourth, and fifth dimension here on earth, so we are lesser dimensions compared to the higher dimensions, who are the angels, archangels, other star families all across the galaxy, or all the other ascended masters, and we really judge it like that. But they don't see that as less or more. They see it as unique and adventurous. And we are the adventurous souls that came here to experience, and through us, they experience their reality. So they want to, and there's kind of a way they live vicariously through us, because they don't have the physical body to experience the five senses and more. They do experience everything through the mind. So when you make something sweet at home and you offer it first to your guide and say, hey, why don't you taste a little bit, and then I'm going to have some. I do a little bit of a naughty thing there. I taste first and then give it to my guide. I'm like, no, I'm the brat, so I'm going to taste first and then I'll give it to you. So that's my thing. But however you share your connections, they can actually taste, they can actually smell, they can actually feel things, and they cry with you, they laugh with you. They do have those emotions, but they also sometimes need to experience it through your vessel and your channeled portal, and that's how they understand it. Now they can't do that if you're not fully here, and your connection with your guides gets richer and deeper when the activations are underneath your feet, your souls are incomplete. So this is the week where I'm seeing a lot of walking barefoot. Now if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, it is very cold. Please don't try that without a good pair of woolen socks. So but symbolically, it does mean grounding. So if you have grounding mats, take them out now and keep them on. If you're using a grounding mattress, that's amazing. If you're simply grounding yourself through meditation and through your breath, that is beautiful. So whatever way you find your grounding, please do that. There's an interesting thing that between my Akashic journeys, sometimes I have 8 sessions a day. I don't do 8 sessions a day anymore, because that was kind of like, that was a lot for me. Because each session has a certain level of intensity, and I've started to acknowledge my capacity, so I go anywhere between 3 to 4 a day. So between sessions, sometimes just to ground myself, I go and have a date. This is something that I learned from a friend. I went to her house to practice Akashic records when I was just learning this new modality. And after I, yeah, after one part of the practice, she said, "Oh, no, 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 we're very ungrounded. We need to ground ourselves." So she went into her fridge, she got us some dates. And as soon as I had just a taste of the date, I felt like I came back in my body. So for me, it's a date, but for you, it could be anything else. That's something that brings you richness, taste, sweetness. I find dates very grounding for me. So whatever that is for you, sometimes it could even be just smelling basil, or something that allows your senses to come back in your body. And once you do that, you're grounded. You are, at least the process has started. So going back to the metaphor that we had for today, that you are on a cobblestone pathway and you're going on a horse-rided carriage, and there's a beautiful sunny spot that's following you like spotlight, as long as you stay present this week. This could even be a general message for whenever you're tuning into this, because there's no moment like the present, they say, right? So the Arcturians are bringing in that wisdom as well. As they're activating your feet, there's also a lot of energetic clearing that they are doing in the collective. I'm seeing a lot of violet and indigo energy. It's kind of merging and melding, and this is the frequency that clears, and this realigns through the presence of higher dimensional frequencies. So it's kind of like if there's something that's not clear, or something that is dense, this light and this frequency of sound and light, this kind of moves through it, and it helps this frequency remember its higher form, and it transforms and transmutes this energy. That's how the Arcturians are explaining healing occurs when you use violet light or indigo light, or violet song or indigo, however that comes up for you. Yanasa Lashinakura Nasa Sha Satakanasa A. So these are really the overall messages for the week. And really going back to the metaphor, allow yourself to stay present as much as possible. And where you find yourself wandering, bring yourself back to the present, and the sunny side up comes back. There also another important message was humor. So make sure that you laugh, even if it is silly, and you find a beautiful, refined sense of humor that's not at the cost of anything. And I don't think anyone tuning into this message actually laughs at the cost of anything. But it could be something silly. If I trip and fall, I could laugh at myself. But would you do that to a stranger? You wouldn't do it to a stranger. So I think that goes without saying, but they just wanted me to say it as well. And of course, the energy of grounding your souls, your feet and your souls to the earth. However you want to practice that, if you're a Reiki or any kind of an energy healing practitioner, send some energy to the soles of your feet. And if you're working with clients, notice if there is a grounding invitation coming for them, and their work with you may be less about getting energetic upgrades, and it could be more about helping them ground this week. So it may look less spiritual, less sci-fi fantasy, less galactic Akashic information, or shamanic information, or animal spirit information, or whatever work you do, but it could still be very, very profound and exactly what they need in this moment. And when I say if you're practicing this with others, it's not just for energy healers. If you're in a workplace, people around you are going to receive that energy from you too, because you're a being of light and sound, and how you show up is in itself a healing and an invitation for others to step into their power. So I hope that you enjoyed the messages that came through for this week, and I will try my best to continue this beautiful, thing that we do every Monday. If I'm not able to come live, I will still make sure to record something and post it at 5 on YouTube. And I'll leave the link on Instagram so that you don't miss any updates any week. But I'll try to join live as much as I can. Do you have anything you'd like to share? Please leave it in comments. Remember that I reply to every comment. And I wish you so much beautiful energy and presence through the week. And if you'd like to go on an individual journey with me, then I'll leave the link for you to book a one on one Cosmic Akashic journey with me. And if you would like to join our monthly meditation, it's on the 5th of June or 6th of June. Let me check, whichever the Friday is. It's the 5th of June at 7:30 p.m. Sydney, Melbourne time. And wherever that is in your time zone, we go into the collective Akash and bring through some beautiful journeys in this cosmic Akash wherever we go. Sometimes we go in other universes as well. And I'm kind of finding I'm getting some downloads about this area, this galaxy called Triangulum. And this is another galaxy. There's we know, to commonly I talk about Andromeda galaxy, and I talk about the Milky Way galaxy, but this time something is coming up about the Triangulum. And that's quite fascinating, so we could even go there. And it may be a bit too soon. I'm still tuning in and seeing what messages come through, but I'm very excited for the monthly Akashic journey as well. And I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week ahead. And I sincerely want to thank you for taking the time to commit to yourself, to share that time with me, and allow this to be a conscious way to move through your week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love to you, and have a beautiful week ahead. I'll see you next week. See ya.